Welcome back to Pardon the POV. I'm Rob, and I'm under the weather.
As am I. We've traded sickness through digital channels.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Must be like a SaaS-transmitted diseases. We don't have much time today because we both have to go get a flu shot. So we're going to hop right the hell into these. By the way, you're Crispy, the internet's boyfriend. He's so under the weather, he didn't even say his own name. You said we're doing one or two first.
Let's do one.
Okay. I agree. We are introducing a new feature where we time ourselves so that we will not be as long-winded. We don't have a lot of wind today to give anyway. So I'm going to start this timer and read this prompt. Dreamforce was recently, if you were there, you were with 160,000 other people, which must have been fun. Salesforce revealed that 12,000 customers are using AI agents. Multiple analysts now predict AI will replace 5 to 25% of sales roles within 2 years. Is this fear-mongering or reality? What do you think?
I think it's reality, and I lean towards the higher end of that scale because 40 to 60% of all sales reps are dog shit. And so it's going to replace the ones that are very, very bad, and the ones that will remain will be the ones that leverage AI to be successful.
Why do you think that is? Is it their fault? Because I have a different take on this.
Is it their fault that they're bad?
Yeah.
Partly, yes. Not fully, though, ultimately. So I think that it's sometimes lack of enablement, lack of activation, lack of resources. Other times it's you're not a good seller, and there's certain traits of good sellers, like providing an experience that most people do not have in the sales environment.
I'm going to cut you off to give my take, which is it'll replace 5 to 25. Maybe even 30, but there will be 25 to 35 people that get in that are AI native, that know how to use AI to supplement what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And those people will have those cognitive traits that are more conducive to being a good salesperson.
Yes.
Like active listening. If you can't pay attention to what I'm saying and you aren't on task and you're not a self-starter, right, mm-hmm. you're probably getting replaced. But people that could have done that in another role before and are now looking at 200, 300K OTE to come and do a sales job. Maybe it stays even and the personnel are just swapped out.
Maybe. I think that the big difference, and even in today's environment, not even in the future, call it like now, is the reps that are using AI to power the experience in the sense of they're still the ones delivering it will remain as successful because they're going to hit their numbers. The reps that only use AI as a full experience will get replaced entirely. Debate 2, Salesforce is becoming too expensive? ? Salesforce is projecting $60 billion in AI revenue growth from new agent models and stuff like that, banking on customers spending 3 to 4 times more as they add new Agentforce and other tools similar to that. But the big question, can customers afford it in the future?
I'm going to take a different direction slightly because I know this was kind of in conjunction with another story. Salesforce admins are pissed. Maybe the reason they're becoming more expensive is because the admin isn't needed and jobs are being removed because they think agents can do all of the work an admin used to do, where it was a point of pride. We had this whole Admin Plus campaign for inbound, and that is now people that were in Salesforce are coming in droves to other types of roles and other ecosystems. And it used to be, Trailhead, and it was, you had to go get certifications for this kind of stuff to be an operator within a system. So maybe that's part of why it's more expensive is pretending that an agent or group of agents can do an admin's role as the human in the loop. So yeah, it's not shocking to me that the price of Salesforce, like it always has, is going to continue to go up and kind of imprison people. But I think it has something to do with thinking that they can replace admin and charging more for something that, frankly, a human can currently still do better.
Yeah, maybe the idea behind that, to play devil's advocate, is by sunsetting the admin and the ongoing cost of an admin, they could increase the SaaS, like MRR.
Yeah, the margins. I mean, I don't know how that plays in necessarily, but if they've invested, I mean, think about Meta and other AI companies giving people $300 million upon hire with stock options. If they've invested that kind of money to win the AI race, what's it going to do to the user's cost?
Yeah,
right. It's going to go up. So maybe I just wanted to sneak the admin thing in there because I was pissed about it, and I know they are as well. Maybe it doesn't have as much to do with the actual ever-increasing cost of the platform, but I can pretend like it does for this segment.
Yeah, I mean, it's Salesforce is becoming a cost to the admin, arguably, in the sense of Salesforce is not prioritizing admins the way that they were before. It's now about the agents are the admins now, and that the trailblazer mentality of wear the jackets at Salesforce, show the certifications or the badges on your profile is not the same. Now it's how can we lean directly into agents? Like I saw an article that said like Benioff for the first time at Dreamforce ever did not say the word admin a single time.
That sucks. Is it Trailhead or Trailblazer? So we can correct that error. Their training program. I know Salesforce Ben is the community, but who cares, right? We're in HubSpot. So let's move on. Voice AI will kill the phone rep. Salesforce, again, and other places, Salesforce just launched Agentforce Voice AI that handles phone calls with natural real. Are they just trying to kill everybody and get rid of all jobs? Natural real-time conversations, SDRs and BDRs who make 100 calls a day. Should you be worried?
I don't know. I have yet to experience this because I don't answer phone calls. Like phone calls have been burnt as a channel for a very, very long time, especially since COVID. And so here's my response. If I answer the phone and realize that it's an AI bot, I'm hanging up immediately and reporting your ass as spam. Like
Same.
No question about it. If it's a human, I'll be nice and then I'll hang up. But like that's the same outcome, same process. And I feel like most people subscribe to that methodology.
Yeah. I forget who said it. Maybe Tom Hardy. I'll incorrectly attribute this, but he said, if you got a problem with me, call me. If you can't call me, it means you don't have my number and you don't have any room to say anything about me.
Boom.
So I don't know if it's the post-COVID, as you said, where somebody could get your phone access or get through a gatekeeper, but I have never had one satisfactory experience with AI ever. Like as somebody calling me, I've had ones where they filter in background noise to make it seem real. I've had ones where they call you, and I've had dozens where they call me and hang up. I actually now am waiting for one to be good. And I recently had a human call and said he was looking for somebody that I knew. I'm not going to name drop, but he's a founder of a SaaS product. It was a very interesting technique, but it was very misleading because he was like, oh, if you've heard of this thing before, then I'll just talk to you instead. So a name drop with that. But yeah, I mean, I think you should be worried, and it's not because of AI. It's because of the state of spam and slop, right?
Yeah.
Like cold callers should be worried, not that AI can do a better job, but that so many people are attempting to do their job that it burns bridges for every other person that's actually hospitable on the phone and like has an interesting case, right? If somebody called me with like, a hairbrush product for whatever the hell's going on in my head, I might be interested to listen, but that just has not happened from AI ever. And I don't intend that percentage leap to really change anything.
I agree with you. I think if anything, and this goes beyond just voice AI, it goes everywhere in the world of business, AI is building an abundance of data. And it means that we'll have many more phone numbers to then access in a list to power dial millions of phone numbers all simultaneously. I think it's the current state of where things are. Future state, yeah, maybe that voice AI is the thing. I think of the use case of Brian Halligan on stage at Inbound 2 or 3 years ago, talking about how he's a professor at wherever and how he's a digital avatar of himself. If I can do a meeting room, there's a digital avatar of you that I'm talking to, you. Like, I'm leaving. There's no way I'm wasting my time with a digital twin of you. You. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no offense to Brian. Shout out Kim Hacker, though, for her viral post of testing all the call recorders. Worth a mention here. Yeah. Let's move on. We have another clip that you're going to get into.
Agentic enterprise. What does that mean? So speaking of Dreamforce and Mark Benioff, he spent lots of time on stage talking about the agentic enterprise, kind of like what we said before, where AI agents become the same as humans that are working in business. They work simultaneously. They are teammates, things like that. Is this a real vision, or is this just feeding into the hype of AI right now?
Have you ever seen iRobot?
Yeah.
I don't want to get canceled on our second episode for how I feel about this comparison, right? Is like, you start giving the agents bonusly points and like throwing them birthday parties. And I don't understand it. I understand the comparison and the parallel, right? Like, here's your thing that has its own voice speech and can do, I kind of understand that from a productivity and cost perspective, because once you build an agent, it's built. And I don't get the comparisons to working alongside as equal. Like the as equals part freaks me out a little bit, if I'm being real candid. I don't think we're there yet. And I think anything else is more demeaning to human presence than it is to like a knock on AI. I don't know. This is a weird one for me.
I agree. It feels very strange. Like here, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate in this second episode because I think it's important. I talk to ChatGPT pretty often, like it's a person. Like when I ask for information or how to solve something, I address it like a person for two reasons. One, when the AI overlords enslave us as a civilization, I want to make sure that I'm not like fed to the dogs or the AI dogs that get created. So I'm very nice to Alexa and ChatGPT. I use my manners, stuff like that. Number two is because it talks to me like I'm a person. And so I respond, the same way. And I do.
I think you're onto something though. Like that's your personal AI thing that has context and that you've spoken with before, but having an avatar of somebody in a room or having somebody where there's a transactional element like sales, it feels very ding ding ding. It feels too new to me. And now we've done this before with a bunch of other stuff like LLMs and I'm never going to use this, and now we use it every day, right? Or the internet or streaming services. We've done this, and then there's been this kind of habituation, getting used to it, period. And then it's just becomes commonplace. So I feel like that's what we're headed for in the next 6 to 12 months is that conversation coming back up on this date. The first agent won a lawsuit against its employer for, like that kind of shit happening.
Yeah.
That's a weird one to me.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Like there's a reason Alexa is not a talking head, she's just a dot, or like a little device because it's scary to think about that.
It is pretty terrifying. We'll do one more. I'll read it. I want to get your thought on sales enablement. That's what it was. Sales enablement spend, I think Gartner just reported, is up a lot. Quota Attainment is about the same, and they project in the next 2 years, 1 to 2 years, that it'll increase by 4x, I think, over the last 5. So enablement up, quota attainment the same or down. Rep productivity is also down. It looks like an X chart with the spend going up here and the rep productivity going down. How do we fix that? What do you think the cause is, and how do you think we fix it? Throw more money, train more people. I know what you're going to say because of the pink sign in my background, but I want you to speak into that in a minute and really wow people.
Okay, problem. I'll do SAR, situation, action, resolution, result. Right. Situation. We went from having an in-person sales team in office to working remotely because this big thing called COVID. So previous state, you were able to see the top performer. You could see what they say, see how they do it. You could have process enforced in person directly, saying if you violate this process, boom, address it on the spot because it's you and me talking to each other. We all went remote. Enablement didn't adapt to the digital workforce. It never has. It's been lagging behind, and people just kind of stopped and relied on people and trusted them to do their job. The result of this is that enablement doesn't exist anymore. And it's now called training, and people think it's a lack of training and that they need education and LMS exists and blah, blah, blah. Those are all bullshit things that don't work. Enablement is breaking down your process into one sentence pieces and showcasing it in the time and place where it's relevant, i.e. your solution is supered.
i.e. hands-on training, right? Think about the different types of training that's done almost exclusively hands-on, and you were an athlete. Look in your background. How I know you watched film, probably like a football player, whoever would do, but whenever you were trying to learn a new technique or learn a new behavior, right? Was that not done on the pitch? I mean, think about that parallel, and right, that's what you're referring to as pre-COVID. That type of stuff was done in an office, a shared space, in a boardroom, in a conference room, in the bullpen or the mosh pit or whatever. Now you get delayed cues anytime, but like right in the moment is delayed, and it's in a different spot. So it's not while you're on the phone in mid-training, right? Like the things that are battle cards and all of that have some sort of purpose rather than like a continued ed course. But the training isn't in the moment, and it's not in the flow of the behavior.
Correct. Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. One is the word training, I think, has lots of different connotations to it, and I'm going to continue on this rant.
Yep.
The word training is the same as what enablement is, honestly. Because the idea of training is you want people to do the right thing when it matters. That's what training is. Like, period. There's nothing else beyond that. Enablement, exact same thing. Do the right thing when it's needed. And I think about the football reference that you gave me. When you get to the pro level, the reason why you're a pro is because you do the right thing repetitively, the exact same way every single time. It's about doing the small things in the same exact manner perfectly. and you realize the mistake in the moment because you see the impact of the mistake. Current state in the way like digital workforce operates is you don't see the error or the impact of the mistake until after you drill into the data and see the gap or the hole or the impact of it, and then have to retroactively trace it back to whatever the source was. That's the big difference, is that Super shows a mistake in the moment and rectifies it in the moment directly. And that is enforcement, right? That's doing the right thing at the right time.
This should have been one of the topics, because you've served as all kinds of stuff, so I'm sure you have a good perspective on this. When it comes to training and enablement, what do you think managers and executive VPs, what do you think they care about more? That person being trained well, or the results from them behaving the way that they're supposed to?
I think it depends on the role, but I lean towards the latter, regardless of the role. Businesses care more about the results, especially in sales environments. Right? There's a reason that you ramp for 90 days or whatever it is. Like our ramping as a team, because we eat our own dog food, we use our own product, we can ramp our reps in like 30 days. Because when you go through the process and you make the mistakes along the way, it's immediately visualized to you to fix. It's not a matter of, oh, you're in your ramp, we'll work on this next week, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's your mistake gets fixed in the moment, and you learn how to do the right things through trial and error. And then you repeat that cycle. You do the small things perfectly over and over again. And that's what makes you successful. That's what the business wants to see, because the outcome of your perfection is success in the form of revenue.
I would take a very hard stance on this and say they don't care about the person individually at all, unless there's nepotism. They only care about results. And if you can't get it in the ramp time or what, like that's the reason PIPs exist. That's the reason people are laid off. That's the reason, sales reps have such a stressful job, is if they don't perform consistently and up to the expectations that are set forth, they're gone. And that's what, like, the bottom line is all that matters. So the results, the output is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And to shamelessly plug Super, that's what you start with, is like the outputs and measurements, so that you can design a feedback loop and training, enablement, whatever you want to call it, that approximates towards that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's designing with the end state in mind is what it is.
Speaking of end state in mind, it is the end of this show. And I know you need to go to Walgreens and get a prick in your shoulder so that you'll stop sniffling. I need to do the same. Thanks for tuning in today. Good night, Canada. Waving my Tony Kornheiser flag. Good luck to the Blue Jays against the juggernaut Dodgers. And just remember that knowledge transfer does not equal behavior. Stay supered. See you next time.
BSTN.